Okay, I think I'll go ahead and start. Anyway, welcome everyone. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Um, if you're already subscribed, make sure you're still subscribed. YouTube absolutely loves to unsubscribe people for some odd reason. Um, also, um, if you would like to join this channel, you get perks like custom emojis and early access to my debunk videos. Um, Usually 2 days early, but at least one day early. Um, the join button is down there. Yeah, down there. Um, and you can join for as little as 99 cents a month. Um, anyway, let's get to it. Um, so, um, First of all, I want to talk about the sacrifice in the general sense. Now, most of my viewers will know that I listen to Tovia Singer, who is a Jewish rabbi. Um, and I'm going back to the origins of Christianity, which they have strayed so far from. Hey, Krishna. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Okay, so Christianity says, self sacrifice, self sacrifice, self sacrifice. Not really anything in the Bible that says that, either in Tanakh or in the New Testament, um, except the living sacrifice, which makes no sense, but I'm not even going to get onto that today. Okay, so, but even when you're talking about, I heard Rabbi Singer say, like, if you've got one bottle of water between two people, you know, um, you're supposed to save yourself and not the other person. Because according to Jewish tradition, not saving yourself is akin to the S word. Not going to say it. YouTube will demonetize me for that. So I'm not going to say it, but you know what I mean. According to Christianity, however, that is the highest form of love. Now, I've already told you, I don't know whether Jesus existed or not. If he did, he certainly wasn't what's portrayed in the Bible. I tend to think he was a conglomerate. They just picked different Messiah figures and lumped them all into one. But anyway, hey, deconverted. So anyway, so now that I've gotten the misconception of Jewish sacrifice and Christian sacrifice out of the way, I'm going to be talking about the Jesus sacrifice that Christians talk about all the time. So we've got to think about this in terms of Judaism, and not only Judaism, but we have to think of it in terms of first century Judaism. Okay, so setting the stage. What was going on in Judea and that part of the world? Well, um, the Romans pretty much took over. Now, it's a common misconception that the Romans actually conquered Judea. That's not exactly what happened. They ended up doing it later, but that was after the Maccabean period. What actually happened was there were different empires at this time, most notably the Egyptian Empire. Okay, deconverted. Um, and so Judea was just this tiny little kingdom, and it couldn't protect itself. And so, well, what do you do when you're on a playground and there's big bullies all over the place? What do you do? Well, the logical thing to do is go to the biggest bully on the playground and say, hey, look, we will give some of our freedoms away to you. We will pay a price and you can come protect us. That was what originally happened. The Jewish leaders, the Sanhedrin, went to the Roman emperor and said, look, we're going to be run over by these empires. You're the biggest bully on the block. And I'm, of course, I'm painting a rather colorful picture. Hey, big zebra. But, I try to paint a colorful picture, right? So the Sanhedrin goes to the biggest bully on the block, which is Rome. And they say, look, we're willing to give up certain freedoms, but you got to protect us because if you don't, we're going to be conquered by another empire, and we don't want that. Something like that. Something like that. Although it wouldn't have been a protectorate, um, I don't think it would have been called a protectorate in the ancient world. But anyway, so this deal is struck. And now keep in mind the Sanhedrin did this, the Jewish governing body did this. And I'm sorry to trigger any of my Jehovah's Witness people, but it that's what basically the Sanhedrin was the priestly class, and they basically ruled Judea. And that's basically what happened. The Sanhedrin, the ruling class, went to Rome. We're not talking about the everyday people went to Rome and said, you got to protect us. We're talking about the Sanhedrin, the priestly class, the people who were like, we got to do something about this, you know. So there was probably a big gap after that happened between the Sanhedrin and the regular people, because I don't think that the regular people would have much liked being under Roman rule, but that's another story. Um, Okay. So we've got this picture now of what it was really like in the first century. Okay. So uh I'm trying to think about how to go about this. Okay. All right. So the Jewish picture of the Messiah, and I'm going through Rabbi Tovia Singer's book, um, and we'll get to. He's already pointed out some of the flaws in Christianity as regards the Jewish Messiah. So I will get to the Messiah. Oh, I don't. Kelly Gal's on the chair and Chuck's is over in his nest. So anyway, um, the the Jewish idea of the Messiah, and there have been many. There's not just one Messiah. Messiah in Judaism translates to anointed one. So Cyrus was an anointed one. He was a Messiah, according to Judaism. Hang on, I've got to turn on my fan. Okay, sorry, you have to put up with it. He was called a Messiah in Judaism. So there's not just one Messiah, there are many Messiahs. But when the Jews talk about the Messiah, they're talking about the last Messiah. And this Messiah figure is going to be a military figure. He will, now this is important. I don't think I'm giving anything away because I think I've already covered this in Rabbi Singer's book. But if I am giving it away, whoopie doo. I'm going to give it away sooner or later. So, all right. So, the Messiah is the Jewish Messiah is a military leader who will gather the Jews together to their homeland, and he will sit on the throne of David. Now, keep in mind, this is according to Judaism. Okay? Not saying whether this is right or wrong. This is what the Jews believe, okay? He will sit on the throne of David. Okay. Now, this is the important part. The Messiah will make a sacrifice for himself, not of himself, but for himself. He will go into the temple and make a sacrifice for himself and the Jewish people. Okay? Let that sink in. He will make a sacrifice for himself. He will atone for himself. Now let that sink in. Oh, Tangelo, glad you're here, buddy. the Messiah will enter the temple and atone for himself and the Jewish people. According to Christianity, Jesus was sinless. So what does Jesus have to atone for? Going to the other side, going to Christianity. If Jesus was sinless, what did Jesus have to atone for? It clearly says in Tanakh, clearly, Otangelo, go watch Tovia Singer. Anyway, getting back to the point. So it says that, so Tanakh says that the Messiah will be conceived in a regular way. He will not be conceived by a virgin. That's nonsense. Okay? That's paganism. Sorry, Otangelo, I gotta say it like it is. That is paganism. That virgin idea comes from paganism. The word virgin that is translated in Isaiah is actually young woman. And it can only be translated as young woman. The church, hey, Big Zebra, the church messed with the Tanakh and put the word virgin in there when it doesn't mean virgin. There is a word in the Jewish language that specifically means virgin. Okay? Specifically. Now, ask yourself, if Isaiah meant a virgin specifically, why did he not use that word that designates virgin specifically? He did not use that word. He used the word for young woman. Okay, he used the word for young woman. And that's another discussion for another day. All right. So first, we've got the Messiah will be a military figure. He will reestablish the temple. He will sit on the throne of David. He will be born, he will be conceived in the regular way, not born of a virgin. Okay? So, and 5, he will atone for not only his sins, but the sins of the Jewish people by making a sacrifice in the Jewish temple when it gets rebuilt. Now, this is according to Judaism, okay? This is all according to Judaism. I don't believe any of this, okay? So I've already talked about what sin does Jesus have to atone for if he was sinless. Because he doesn't, right? He doesn't. Okay. Second, Jesus did not sit on the throne of his father David. We don't even know if he even existed, which, like I said, I haven't made up my mind. Yeah, exactly, Selena. It was actually talking about his wife, Isaiah's wife, which I'll get to in Toby Singer's book. I'll get to it. But Isaiah was actually talking about his wife, like the young woman. You see that young woman over there, that young woman. And you also know that he's talking about a child that will be born in Isaiah's lifetime, because Isaiah says, look it up, Otangelo. Isaiah says, before the child knows to reject the wrong and choose the right, the two kings that you dread, their land will be laid waste. Now, there was only one empire in Jesus' lifetime, and that was the Roman Empire. There wasn't a second one. So this already makes no sense. Okay? So basically, Isaiah is telling, I think it was Hezekiah, who was king. I'm not sure. It could have been somebody else. I can't remember right off the bat. But anyway, he was telling the king, you know, because the king was stressed out. And he's like, look, we're getting pummeled on all sides, Isaiah. We need a miracle. And Isaiah's like, yeah, you're going to have your miracle, because you see that woman over there? She's pregnant, meaning his wife. Well, I mean, yeah, but it wasn't as big as the Roman Empire, Selena. Certainly not anything to, you know, um, certainly not anything to fear, especially with the Romans protecting Judea. So anyway, okay. Um okay, so let's get on to so that certainly can't be talking about Jesus, because Isaiah is talking about something that's going to happen in his lifetime. Okay, so let's talk about Tanakh saying that Messiah will rebuild the temple. According to the Bible, the temple was right there in Jesus' day. Why would Jesus have to rebuild something that was already there? Hey, Wild Heart, it doesn't make any sense, does it? Doesn't make any sense that Jesus would have to rebuild a building that was already there. So that's another thing, you know. So what happened was, you know, Jesus, according to the story, was crucified by the Romans. Okay. I accept there was a dude named Jesus. I accept he could have been a Messiah figure. I accept that he could have been crucified by the Romans. There were a bunch of Messiah figures running around at that time. There were a bunch of Yeshuas running around at the same time. There were a bunch of people getting crucified by the Romans because of treason. Doesn't surprise me at all. So, Jesus did nothing that was prophesied for the Messiah to do. The last Messiah. The Messiah that the Jews talk about when they talk about the coming of the Messiah. It's the last Messiah. Okay? Did nothing. So his followers, they were like gung-ho. They were like, yeah, he's going to save us because he's the Messiah figure. You know? Now, keep in mind, these were Jews. His original followers were Jews, if he even existed. His original followers were Jews. So they knew that there is no virgin birth. That's bunk. That would have been totally alien to them. And yeah, there are probably, well, I know there were a lot of Yeshuas because it was the most popular boy's name of the time. So anyway, so they had to figure out a way to say, okay, well, Jesus didn't fulfill any of the messianic prophecies in Tanakh. So we got to rework this thing if we want it to survive. Now, I'm not quite sure whether it was the Jesus movement that eventually blossomed into Christianity, or, now keep in mind, Constantine legalized Christianity, you know. So it could be that, and this is what I believe, and you're okay if you don't believe it, but I believe that Christians today do not follow the original Jesus movement. They don't. Because if they followed the original Jesus movement, they would be Jews, not Messianic Jews, just plain Jews. Okay? Yes, Selena. So, anyway, Jesus didn't do anything the Messiah was supposed to do. They had to come up with another way. All right, we've got to figure this out. Oh, I know. We can say there's going to be a second coming, and he's going to do everything he was supposed to do in his first coming on the second coming. Well, this puts them in a bind because according to the Bible, Jesus was crucified. Now, if Jesus was just an ordinary man and not a God man, then he's not up in heaven right now. You know, he didn't rise from the dead. So they had to insert that into Christianity, rise from the dead, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then this majestic Jesus figure will come again. And on his second coming, he will fulfill all of the messianic prophecies that he did not fulfill in his first coming. That's Christianity in a nutshell. Our Messiah didn't do anything, didn't do shit while he was here. So we're going to have to make up a time in the future when he will come. That's basically, it is well, not a little. It's more complex than that. But that's the basic ins and outs. Tangelo, you still here, buddy? That's the basic ins and outs of it. Now, Christianity had to jump through a lot of hoops. Okay. They had to change Tanakh. There's also a not last Sunday, because last Sunday I interviewed Logic, but the Sunday before, I believe, if you haven't watched That Atheist Church, I would recommend you watch it because Rabbi Singer, thank you, Wildheart. Rabbi Singer goes through how this verse in Psalms was mistranslated. It doesn't say they pierced his feet or side or whatever. I forget what verse it is in Psalms now, but it's in Psalms. It's a verse in Psalms, and it's talking about piercing his hands and feet. That's not what the Hebrew says. That's not what the Hebrew says. That's another lie that the church gave. The Hebrew says, like a lion. And like I said, it's, I think it's my last atheist church. Well, I mean, not my last atheist church, because the last atheist church I was interviewing Logic, but the Sunday before that. So I don't know when that would have been. But I think I covered it then. So let me ask you something. If you have to lie, if you have to lie to get people to join your fucking religion, is it the truth? No. because that religion is built on lies. Christianity is built on lies, even according to their own scriptures. This is why I'm using Rabbi Toby Singer, because they accept the Tanakh as their quote unquote Old Testament, right? So Christians accept Tanakh. And Tanakh itself says these things about the Messiah. But they don't want to see this stuff. Because they want to close their eyes, put their hands over their ears, and say, la 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 la, I can't hear you. It's like a toddler. If you're still able to put his name in orange, then he hasn't, Selena. That's actually a Pauline thing, Selena. Paul actually says that. Listen, Angela, if you're still here, listen. Read the Bible. Don't read it with God goggles on. Don't read the Tanakh in light of the New Testament. Read Tanakh as it is. Read Tanakh as it is. You will see everything I am telling you is true. I don't have a horse in this. I don't want to drag you away from Christianity. If you want to be in Christianity, go ahead and be in Christianity. However, you deserve to know the truth. You deserve to know the truth. And the truth is that this whole Jesus thing is made up bullshit. Made up bullshit. And you can believe me. You don't have to believe me. Tell you the honest truth, I don't fucking care. But you need to know the truth. And the truth is, Christianity is a false religion, even by the standards of its quote unquote mother religion. And that's actually a misnomer, because Christianity has incorporated so much paganism into it. Anyway, thank you for coming. Please hit the like button. Press the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed. If you would like to join this channel, you can join for as little as 99 cents a month. Hit the join button down there. And, there are different tiers that you can join. 99 cents is the lowest. But there are different tiers that you can join. So, you know, you get custom emojis and you get my debunks early. So, what's Gita? Oh, you mean Bhagavad Gita? Is that what you're talking about? Are you talking about Bhagavad Gita? I'm gonna have to have you on my channel sometime, dude. We're gonna have so much fun going through that. Yeah, just hit me up on Twitter. You got my Twitter, it's down in the description. So just hit me up on Twitter, dude. It'll be lots of fun. Don't have a hatred for Hinduism like I do. Yeah, that's what I thought. So you know, we'll have a fun time discussing the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna. I've got it in translation. I don't speak Hindi or read Hindi. I can speak and read and understand some German, but you know, that's and some French, but those are the only languages besides English that I know. So, you know, I have to read a lot of things in translation. So, but yeah, get together with me. We'll have a grand old time. All right. Have fun, everyone. Good night. And I will see you. I'm not really sure. Not really sure when I'll see you. But I will see you sometime soon. You know, if not for the rest of the week, at least we've got Saturday live stream. So, yeah. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.